And we are live. Welcome, dear friends. Welcome back, yet again, to another evening that we get to delve into this wonderful, magical realm we oftentimes call the real world. Now, you and I both know by this point already that the real world is not only harrowing, not only fantastic, not only sometimes the stuff of dreams, but it can also constitute a terrible nightmare. Sometimes when you wake up in the morning, though, you don't remember quite what transpired the evening before. It's hard to put these things together, but I can always rely on one person for sure to let me know exactly what's going on. Even I, your narrator, can sometimes get lost. No, the only one sure of their own words and sure of what has happened in the past and what may even happen in the future is the person who does the recap.
I had 2 pages of notes, and it pretty much gets summarized by Starke made a mess.
Yeah.
Does that mean that Stark should do the recap? Someone's got to do it. Y'all know how this works, and I'm not gonna let you off the hook.
I don't even know if I remember all of it. I remember everything that happened with Atlantis and Stark. I don't remember if anything else happens.
Waiting.
Okay, well I'll start and someone else can fill in the holes. I was gonna rewatch my last stream just to get like a quick synopsis, but you know, that didn't happen, so I remember that we had left the museum, and we had planned on going our separate ways to do things. Atlantis was gonna meet up with Stark. Gloombringer and Charmcaster were going to... Did Gloombringer and Charmcaster even do anything? I remember they went off to do something.
No, I believe Charmcaster took off for her own plans, and then I linked up with Alex eventually. We were gonna go shopping until...
Oh yeah, until all this shit happened. I guess it was just an Atlantis and Stark episode for the most part. Atlantis went to...
Well,
What is...
Ambassador made a pretty big power play there, too.
Yeah, that too. Well, we should
Oh, that's right. He... Fuck. Oh, I had that in my notes.
Leveraged, forget the name of the god.
Mordenkainenzer?
Mordenkainen, yeah.
That's right. He sent that letter to Mordenkainen, basically saying, you know, if we're going to take away everything if you don't, you know, show up to this and
no, let's put this racist back in line.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Does someone else want to try to do the recap?
Beer shop in America. What?
Anybody?
I can if no one else wants to.
Y'all are making this shit up at this point. I feel like y'all are messing with me.
Yeah, take it away, Ben. Thank you. Start from the beginning for us.
Okay. Mid-morning, Gloom, Charm, and Atlantis are plotting the museum. They browse various artifacts, find some interesting curios from when the vampires were in town, link back to what we saw in Darkhaven. And they all come to the conclusion that we should stay inconspicuous here in all my Al cities. Al-Kahira?
No, Ajaib.
Okay. All right. Too many.
All good. Understandable.
And so they go their separate ways, and we flash to Ambassador, who is trying to find a way into high society, goes to the library, and is trying to make a sizable donation and is rebuffed by the librarian. And so he sends a rather scathing letter to the patron of the library, Mordenkainen, threatening to revoke his access to Cania if the situation was not corrected. Afterwards, he cheerily goes shopping for robes and all the fineries of Ajaib. As that is taking place, Dream surveys the city, flying invisibly overhead. Gets a good view of the Jadot compound, which was opulent and very sprawling. 5 sub-buildings, which were mansions by their own right, and then probably the single biggest building in the city is their estate or villa on the north side. It was also very apparent that there was a very big disconnect and in failing, very rich, very poor, no in between. And so there's very little middle class. And the south side, which were slums, it generally got worse the further south you go. And they're still very pious with lots of churches and religion. So not lawless like in a lot of cities, but very destitute. Dream relayed that to the party and then went to the outskirts, to the Druid Circle that Atlantis had set up on the coast. While all that was happening, Stark got up close and personal with the consequences of his actions as a screaming lunatic, completely out of control baby vampire is causing a scene, gets everyone kicked out of the hotel, and jumps out of a window and kills a person. Apparently by drinking their blood, which was toxic to vampires in some fashion. Atlantis was in the area and bailed Stark out and pulled him out even though it was light out and he was burning, and ended up burying him in the flower pot or the flower bed on the roof. At nightfall, Atlantis and Stark set out to find his progeny in the morgue. And on that journey, we left off with them in the morgue with several vampire bodies, including one ancient of House Mata who is about to be unstaked.
Thank you very much, Ben. And please take your well-deserved point of inspiration. We do know that I love cliffhangers, so instead of going straight to the scene of the crime, we're going to follow another one of our harrowing anti-heroes, Charmcaster, who has found themselves exactly where they wanted to be. After making their way down all the way to the south side of Ajaib, she found the more unsavory types. The kind that'll do the type of work she's looking for. And this is when she taps into Gloombringer. Gloom, you've left the scene of the mess Starke had made, and you've gone about your own way, began shopping with the Ambassador, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, yep.
And as you do this, as you're embarking, find yourselves in a beautiful silk shop, the lovely Charmcaster rings into your ear. Hey, good news, bad news. What do you want first?
Oh. Well, we already have a bit of bad news, so I guess might as well keep the ball rolling. How bad can it really get?
Well, I found the outlaw refuge. A lot of good mercenaries here. Bad news, they're all just as religious as the rest of the city. A good amount of them have enough magic to see through my tricks, too. None of them will deal with me. Not even a little bit. Except for one of them. That's the good news.
Well, do go on.
Well, I just don't know if he's what we're looking for. He doesn't even have... You can tell that she kind of has to walk over to a corner and, like, put her head down, and for fear of people reading her thoughts. He doesn't even use magic, Gloombringer. What are we gonna do with that? He said something about martial prowess.
Well, he sounds different. Perhaps see what he's got. What's the worst that could happen? We're just a bunch of misfits anyways.
Well, there's a lot of worse that could happen. A lot worse, actually. It seems that anywhere I go with any of you, the worst, and then worse than, continues to happen.
Well, you'll definitely roll your eyes when I tell you this. It looks like Stark's little pet there managed to escape this afternoon. Sunk her teeth into one of the civilians. There was a big scene in the town plaza.
Of course. Of
Looks
course.
like our cover is blown.
No.
So
Not ours. As far as I'm concerned, I was never there and I do not know you people.
yes, I second that thought. And besides, I sent them on a wild goose chase. Threw some poor sap at her heels, crying that he's in love with her. That should keep them tied up, or at least distract them. I hope Stark's okay.
I hope he gets his head
Well-
back on his shoulders soon, because this is not the type of mess we need right now.
Well, I'm not entirely sure that would kill him, but I digress. Where should we meet? I'm excited to meet our new mercenary.
I'll talk to him, see what he wants. And then I'll get the rest of the information to you. Just give me a minute, okay?
Sure, sure.
Charmcaster begins to cross the interior of what seems to be a very crowded, though quiet, little den. It's dark, dimly lit, and it's actually been hidden off to the side of the city in a small patch of tropical forest that seems to grow. Hidden amidst the palm trees, some large sandy dunes, and a couple large slabs of rock. It seems like this has been carved out of the sand and hidden away specifically for the types of individuals that like to lay low. She misses a couple jagged tiles, manages not to trip over them, kicks some sand out of her sandals as she approaches again and looks at the man sitting on a cushion in front of her now. Would you like to describe who she's just approached? A man that only goes by the name Slayer. You might be muted, Gloom.
Was muted. Blue. Let's go. What you see is a rather tall, 6 foot man, young in age. Body is strapping, as all of his muscles are exposed. He wears but a leather jerkin, tight to his chest. A little gauntness to him, as you see in his face and on his skin a paleness. Appears to be not human. Around his left bicep is a steel cable that's kind of twisted and braided wire, and it's almost cinched so tight that you can see a small line of blood that drips down his arm. Doesn't appear to wince or show any emotion towards it. The rest of his getup is mostly black. Any metal has been brushed off to remove its shimmer. And he sits there with his feet kicked up, leaning back, smoking a cigar, with a large rifle resting on his shoulder. Long. Doesn't look like a normal gun that you've seen, if you've seen. It looks like something from space, almost. Attachments all over. And the further you look at his getup, you start to notice that there's more gadgets and devices, daggers hidden on his person. And though he looks like he's traveling light, his load is pretty significant. So, what's the job?
Charmcaster looks from side to side and sits down beside you, noticing there aren't many people around. A simple one, in the means that it's only one thing to do, but of course, to do anything well, you must take care. I expect someone who's been in your profession long enough understands this.
What's the pay?
Very few words you speak. The pay is handsome. Whatever it is that's needed can be afforded to you. Money really isn't an object. However, I need to impress this upon you. No mistakes can be made. This needs to be as clean, cut, and precise as surgery.
And he puts his feet down and kind of sits forward. Listen. If we're doing this my way. I call the shots. I don't know who you work for, but you let them know. I'll kill anybody you need, and no one will know. And he kind of gestures to his rifle. Just get me within a mile of anyone you want dead. I'll do the rest.
An eyebrow raises on Charmcaster's face, and at first you think she's a little upset, but then a small smirk curves across the bottom of her lip. Very well. She gives you 2 things. The first is a small stone. Contact us this way. Destroy it if you're ever compromised. The second is a piece of paper. When she hands it to you, she waves her hand over it first, creating a small image on it. One that is the likeness of a person. A person you've seen before. The Khalifa of Ajaib.
About time I get a real job. And he takes his cigar and duffs it on the Caliph's face.
And as you do that, the image disappears as well. Very well then. She stands up, brushes the sand off of herself. I trust that the next time I see you, and she drops a bag of gold, or platinum, excuse me, on the counter, I'll be only handing you more money. And never seeing you again.
And Slayer doesn't respond. He just goes invisible.
That's a neat trick. How does he do it without... Oh, never mind. She just simply turns and leaves the outlaw purse. As we fade to black here, we find ourselves with our valiant knight of the Fey realm, the Knight of Dream. Where do you find yourself and Crescent at this moment? After all the commotion has happened, are you still on the outskirts? Did you come back to town? You want to refresh my memory?
We have settled in for the night in the Druid Grove that Atlantis set up. It's very nice. We found a nice tree and balled up underneath, and Crescent made work covering the tracks of young Starke and his unfortunate set of events this afternoon. So the town dreamt of a lover's quarrel between the young girl and boy that ended up with them taking their own lives together. And it was quite a mess, but that kind of thing happens all the time. Certainly there were no vampires involved. And as Crescent sends out waves of dreams to the populace, Dream is dreaming a very specific dream. And the dreamer is Jamil Jadot III. And I didn't write down the name because name is okay. And Jamal,
Jamil.
Is dreaming of a fantastic date or evening with Dryan Perez.
Ah, with Drian Piers. Okay.
And he is at a circus. He is going through booth by booth, goes up to a giant and plays a hammer game against her. Does fairly well, and then this giant completely just demolishes him, and Drian laughs and is strangely happy with this embarrassing moment between them. And they go by a genie who has wonderful jewels for sale. He buys a barrette, pins it in Dryan's hair. And Neria has a spider has spider silk clothes for sale of the finest caliber. And they settle in and watch a mime seemingly pull things out of nowhere, and so convincingly real. And they end their night with a cocktail by not Medusa, Lamia, who is renowned throughout the land. And it is very, very nostalgic for Jamil. And he's happy. Happier than he can remember being in a very long time.
Okay. What is your spell save DC?
Low. 16.
Okay. And as this dream progresses further and further, you, from the sidelines, watching on, notice that there are instances that Jamil seems to half-heartedly wake up. He'll notice something that to him seems out of place and pause for a moment. The dream will start to crash around him, but just like that, this anchor you've placed here, the form of Drian Piers, is enough to bring him back. Enough for him to want to stay in this dream forever. It is not until the final act of this dream, where they sit side by side, and it seems that for the first time, Jamil finally gets to ask Drian what he's wanted to. Why didn't you come with me? Why did you stay behind? And Drian almost wresting their own willpower from you, and becoming their own entity in this dream, speaks. Wake up! Just like that, you're sent crashing back to the Druid Grove. And you're sure, somewhere in Ajaib, Jamil Jadot III has just woken up in a cold sweat.
Message received.
Indeed. Crescent will startle too and look towards you, wondering what exactly that was all about. Somehow, an external force found its way into the dream. Woke Jamil before you were ready.
Maybe we underestimated this Drian, or maybe we're mistaken. Maybe they yet live.
And we already know who we must speak to next. We can reach them from here. Shall we try?
Let's try and slip into Drian's dream.
Traveling through the astral, the ethereal, finding yourself into the transitive dream plane. The mists and nebula come together and form a shore, one which you wash up on. You find, not far behind you, a young Jamil Jadot III. Gasping for breath, he's been pulled ashore by a Triton, one that wades in the water several feet away, watching curiously. Eventually, the two cautiously meet, and a whirlwind passes by, and soon it seems as though some time has passed. No longer on the shore where this child has washed up, you find them deep in the wilds of this island. Together, rushing through trees, hiding, playing, frolicking, as young children would. We rush further. Older now, teens. Something more has grown between them, a deep bond. Drian shares the Triton's kiss with Jamil, so that they both may swim deep underwater, though only one of them can naturally breathe the ocean's life. Drian shows this young Jamil many, many splendors. And yet again we're whisked through time. Not much further, perhaps just a few years. Still young adolescents, there is trouble. A tribe of Triton accost Drian. All the while Drian attempts to interpose themselves between Drian and what seems to be some sort of leader. In the end, they are both cast out. Perilous and dangerous are the parts of this island that they're forced to live in now and to navigate. Until, yet again, a short amount of time later, it seems as though there's a portal. It seems as though a portal Jamil is familiar with. There's great discussion and debate. Jamil wants to leave. and wants to leave with Drian. Drian is unsure, but in the end, ultimately refuses. From Jamil's perspective, he watches on the day that he's meant to leave, the day that Drian is meant to give him his answer, as the people of his tribe, the Tritons, take him away and send him off to be executed. Jamil is forced through the portal and sent back home, several years older than he should ever have been. Back on that island, Drian awaits at the shore, alone. You should not walk into dreams of those you have not asked permission. What is your business here?
My mother always scolded me for my manners.
The scolding did you no good.
No, I was not fond of listening to her. Pardon my intrusion. I mean you no harm. You are often a subject of his dreams.
This I know.
Piqued my curiosity,
Yes,
which got the better of me, I must say.
I see. He should leave me there, in his dreams. And I would hope you do not use my likeness to fool him again. My magic may not be that of dreams, but my connection to emotional resonance is far more than enough. He believes I have died. It is safer for him this way.
Is it safer for you?
That is not what matters.
Very well, Miss Perez. I will take my leave. I step backwards out of that space.
You reach the Druid Grove again, stepping through the nebulous mist, and Crescent sighs heavily. We aren't going to leave this alone, are we?
The plan only works if Baron can reunite them. Significantly harder to reunite them if Drian is off gallivanting somewhere. I wonder what the nature of their magic is. They did not seem very cooperative.
There are many
Have you
questions
run
now. Have I run across what, Dream?
Many beings that have been able to converse with you under their own free will.
Psionics. Mind mages are often more lucid than the rest of mortal beings, no matter what magic they choose to employ.
I see.
They must be a psionic of some sort.
And maybe that's why he's going to the Jin's claws.
Well, here is another thing. Did you feel how far they were? We traveled longer than we usually do to find them. And they are not here on Toro. Neither any of the closer planes like Eberron or Theros. I fear this is somewhere we have yet to visit, Dream.
Yes, I had the similar thoughts. Well, this certainly is a wrinkle in the plan, but we do have 20 days. I'm sure there's something we can take care of in that time.
Perhaps if we learn more from Jamil himself, we will not use his dreams so as not to anger the Scion. But perhaps if we learn the true story, we may be able to find an answer to our problems.
Suppose we have to do it in the mundane world, then. Wonder what those nincompoops are up to. They seem to have stirred quite a mess. I hope they've called it a night.
As we fade to
Right.
black... And in a dungeon...
So opportune.
In a dungeon, far below most of Ajaib, underneath a mortuary, several vampire bodies laid astrewn, and in an iron maiden, the ancient body of the elder of House Mata stands before Stark. Stark.
As Stark will remove the stake which holds or bars this vampire.
And the blood-formed doppelganger of Stark reaches forward and with a single thrust rips out the stake from the center of this elder vampire's chest. Almost a howling shriek. The wail of demons echo throughout this chamber, up the stairs, and almost fly out into the skies of Ajaib like a swarm of bats themselves. The sound is almost deafening. Sound of centuries, millennia's old creature waking from a fitful slumber. The body does not move, but you can hear slowly every bone, every piece of flesh, every muscle, every sinew snap and stretch and creak and ache.
Well, good evening.
And the still stiff and lifeless corpse only lets out low moans that slowly grow in their volume. This creature is taking its sweet time, and as it should. The longer that a vampire has been staked, the longer it takes for them to wake up. Lord knows how long they've kept this elder here. Lord knows how long it'll take for it to finally leave its coffin.
Very well. Let us wait just a little longer.
I am quite disappointed. I thought someone would be dead by now.
As did I. However, this vampire must have been staked for a very long time. Can you imagine not moving your body for hundreds, maybe thousands of years?
I get stiff just thinking about it.
Exactly. So, we must be patient.
Very well. This lands kind of pecks under his wing, getting a little bug out of it that decided to crawl under there.
Let's say another 5-10 minutes.
And there's a whole chamber here to explore while you do so. You can see, again, there are several vampire bodies that have been cut apart and almost dissected. There's all sorts of instrument that lay about.
No, what do you expect the bodies?
Most of them are vampire spawn, and they're so dried up and desiccated you would think that they perhaps are at least a couple decades old. There's only one of them that seems fresh and or newer. And it isn't a vampire spawn. This actually looks like a caster of some sort. You can tell by the blood runes that were engraved into their arms. Godfrey has similar runes engraved into his body. It's one of the few ways that vampires are able to still use potent spellcasting even after being undead.
Fascinating.
Question is, where did they get these creatures? It's not easy to kill a vampire, especially not for a human.
Could there be a vampire hunter in Ajaib? I'll have to ask the Ancient One once he awakens.
Atlantis?
Yes, mighty God, what is it you wish of me?
What are you doing right now?
Very, waiting very irritatedly outside the thing, just being a seagull. Eventually, probably get bored and, I don't know what there is to look at other than the building.
Oh, sorry.
he's gonna wait impatiently. Because he doesn't want to miss what happens whenever the vampire does eventually wake up.
And honestly, he's stiff as a board. And you're bored. He's as stiff as you are bored, I should say. And Stark seems to be interested with all these gruesome bodies around. All of this is kind of just a waste of time.
I'm gonna go fly around for a bit. Let me know when he finally rouses himself.
Very well. Don't stray too far.
And then Lannis will fly off to go, I don't know, find something interesting to see.
Okay. And you leave Stark there.
Find one of these land dwellers to poop on as I fly by.
Mature, classy. We love that.
Take the aspect of a seagull.
Yeah.
I'm king of all creatures of the sea, even the seagulls.
Exactly. Seagulls know what's up.
Okay. Okay. Why did you do that? I think I have too many tabs open. My computer's dying. There we go. Maybe that'll do it. Does that do it? That does it. Cool. And I'm just gonna put a little Stark token down. Oh wait, I gotta do the new Stark token. Totally forgot about that.
Oh yeah, I forgot we had a new Stark.
We do have a new. I'm gonna use the old one for now, but I'll put your new one up in a second, okay?
Alright.
Stop making new tokens, by the way.
What owlbear are we on?
What do you mean, what owlbear? The same one as always.
I don't
Starts
see
with a
anything.
Z.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Z, you might have to refresh.
Oh, cool, there we go. And I can listen to your music.
That's strange. It worked for me. Like I'm now in a dungeon.
No, I've been, yeah, I was blank for some time now. I fixed it.
Yeah. I love that for you.
Yeah.
Great. Now that you're alone, Stark, could you make a wisdom saving throw for me?
And then my clone can make it, I guess.
One more time? Say that again?
My clone can make it, I guess.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Wisdom save.
Because you're outside of the room still.
Yeah.
Yes, please. A wisdom save.
Nat 20, which is just a 20.
Which is just a 20?
Yes.
Suddenly, your blood-formed clone stops everything they're doing. You lose the ability to see through its senses. And you can see through the doorway that abruptly it stands up straight and turns towards the sarcophagus and slowly begins to walk towards it. Once there, a brittle arm reaches out, grabs your copy, and begins to suck the life from it.
Oh.
Vampires do not feed off of other vampires. It is a great misdeed, a travesty. Any vampire that would is shunned by the community, and usually outright murdered. It's not something you just pick up because you want to, because you fancy. It is something that is fated to you from conception. If you become this type of vampire, a blood leech, you may only gain sustenance from that of other vampires. The blood of another creature can and will kill you. You watch as the elder of House Mata siphons the excess blood that you use to create this clone completely into themselves. Fully revived now, dropping the husk of a corpse to the ground, it steps forward. And looks to you. You want to roll initiative for me?
God fucking damn it.
I would like to clarify, we're not actually in the building. We are outside of the building.
No, you're in the building. You're outside of the basement where the morgue is.
I thought
No, we were
on like a
outside.
nearby building.
We were on a nearby building.
Yeah, we're not in the building. We only sent the clone in because we couldn't find a way in without busting any doors open.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Then you can't roll initiative because it doesn't see you. I forgot. I thought you guys were inside the building too.
No. New.
Well, there's a blood leech on the loose.
Okay. Starke is immediately going to contact Atlantis.
So that's arguably worse.
Yeah.
Yes, Atlantis. I believe we might have fucked up. We need to get the fuck out of here. No.
Is this whole episode going to be me writing Starke made a mess?
Very well. I'm returning now. Let me just. And Atlantis is busy trying to steal some food he found. He quickly grabs it and flies off.
You're still watching the morgue, Starke? From outside?
No. From outside, Starke would have moved to a further building.
Okay. And it's actually as you're moving that you hear something like a rumbling coming from the distance behind you. And then suddenly, the doors and windows inside the entirety of the morgue burst, and a swarm of bats, almost 10,000 strong, begin to pour out of the building and flood the sky, blotting out the clouds and the moon that were once visible.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Starke will more frantically, he will dash. He is out. Not waiting around to get killed.
Quite a few more bats than I expected. Perhaps we should.
Are you still flying,
retire
Atlantis?
To my druid. Yes, flying with a bread roll in my mouth.
Okay. I'm gonna need
Perhaps
you.
we should go to our druid grove. He says.
Alright. As you're making your way through the sky, however, and you're speaking telepathically, I need you to make a, I believe, strength saving throw.
Oh my god.
Oh dear. I don't think I'm very good at those.
in
don't
your
think
in your
seagulls are
current
very
in
good
your
at it.
in your current wild shape, whatever that is.
Oh,
Let me double check the. It might actually be.
Because as you're
Double
flying
check.
back, the sky is just filled with all of these vampire bats.
Let's look for. Da-da-da-da-da. Where'd it go? I'll find D&D Beyond. I didn't want to read anything about wall shape anyway. Let me bring up 5e tools. Bird.
I did an oopsie.
No, not a mechanical bird. I need a seagull. Oh my god.
just grab a raven or an owl.
Raven works. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's still, I mean, it's 19 minus 4, so 15.
All right, that's gonna fail, and you're going. Your movement speed is going to be reduced to 0, and you're gonna fall out of the sky as you're bombarded by these bats. We'll just do the max, which is 20d6, I believe,
Oh dear.
Oh, shit.
as you hit the ground. Who wants to roll 20d6? You want me to roll it? I can roll it.
I mean, I can roll 20d6. Let's see here.
Just because my computer's really slow right now, because I'm streaming through OBS, and it's just, well, not OBS, it's Streamlabs, but my computer hates me for this.
70.
70?
Well, let's see.
Yeah.
How much health does a raven have?
3.
One.
1.
3.
So I take 69 damage.
69.
You're welcome.
Okay. That's not exactly what I would have said, but okay.
Hit the ground and I'm immediately thrust out of fucking wild shape, still with the bread roll in my mouth. Oh. Maybe this was a bad idea.
Absolutely it was, man. Blood leech. An ancient fucking blood leech in the fucking morgue.
They had it locked up in an Iron Maiden with a stake through it. Like, if anything says don't touch this, it is that.
Well, you know, they should have killed it, so this is really on them.
You can't kill
honestly
them.
not.
It's almost impossible to kill ancient vampires. That's why they are stuck in coffins and Iron Maidens like that. If they could kill him, they would have done it.
On the
You
iron.
put a sign on it.
They should have. They should have put a sign. Don't touch. Very deadly. Will cause plague.
He's blood leech.
Is blood leech.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah, we wouldn't have fucked with that.
Yeah, if it said blood leech, I wouldn't have fucking touched it.
Probably.
I mean, you made a blood leech earlier, so.
Yeah, but that was my blood leech. This motherfucker's gonna go on a rampage, and he's not mine.
Yeah, Finus would like to go ahead and
Run.
go water elemental and try to. Actually, hold on. I might have a spell for this. I think I have. Well, where is it? I know I had it somewhere. It might be on my full spells list. I think I have gaseous form. Is what I'm looking for. Nope, I do not. That is not a druid spell. Fuck.
Oh no.
In that case, I could have sworn I had something like it. For now, while I'm looking for it, we'll go water elemental. So it'll be a bit easier to move through things.
Okay.
And Lance is going to try to get the fuck out of there and go back to his grove. And we should probably tell everybody else.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, after you're done, Stark's gonna inform everyone that they should leave.
Right before you do that, and then I'll flip right back to you. Everyone in Ajaib currently, so that's Ambassador, Gloombringer, even Dream and Crescent on the outside. This is like as you finish your dreams, everyone's doing their things. Charmcaster's just leaving the Outlaw Refuge, and everyone looks up to see a storm of bats cover the sky, cover the moon, and once the moon is revealed again, it's blood red. The entire sky is tinged in deep sanguine hues.
Oh, fuck. The goddamn blood moon. Fuck.
Now you can say whatever you need to say, but I'm pretty sure everyone's already seen what's going on. So.
Yeah, but do they know where it's originating from?
We fucked up.
What's going on?
We fucked up. We need to leave now. There is a vampire on the loose far beyond our capabilities.
What happened to staying under the radar?
Listen, okay? I may have been a little angry after, well, my daughter died, but, you know, I've learned from my mistakes just now.
And then there's a shriek that cuts across. There's a shriek that cuts across the sky as you say that, like blood piercing.
Well, no use dawdling on that right now. What's the plan?
Run.
What sort of stupid land dweller would keep something like that in a simple morgue? For anybody to just walk in.
Honestly, man. Are you stupid?
Everybody relax. We'll all meet at Atlantis' Grove, and we'll decide what we're going to do from there.
Very well.
We'll clean up this mess we made, Stark.
I will not allow him to take full brunt of the consequences. I may have encouraged this.
That is not the matter. How we proceed is...
You guys are being entirely too harsh on yourselves. This is clearly the city's fault.
You are right, yes. Honestly, why would you keep such a powerful ancient being in a morgue?
No, yes, we can use this to our advantage. Fellas, let us take a moment. Perhaps we move on to Phase B.
Should we fast forward to the Druid Grove?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We can keep talking telepathically.
Yeah, because it's gonna stay like this forever, and then yeah.
In danger.
I'm just gonna pull you all. We're gonna break there. We're gonna cut scene. Gloombringer, has a brilliant, beautiful plan, and he says we're gonna cut to Phase B, and then we zoom out and zoom back in to the Druid Grove.
And Gloombringer like, I have no idea what Phase B is.
On the contrary, Atlantis, I've actually been working this one up for quite some time. However, I did plan for things to go a little bit differently, but considering the current events, perhaps we speed up the schedule, if you will.
So, we... Dream looks at Stark. We can't deal with this, right?
No, it is nearly impossible to kill a being such as this.
Well, this city did something with him before that landed him in a coffin, right? Maybe we just leave it to their own devices. I have hit a little bit of a snag in our original plan. It seems that Drian Piers is not dead yet, as we had originally thought. And we need to rectify that.
Ooh. Well, that's fun news.
Might I suggest that we take a little journey and let the city sort out this whole vampire matter?
And squander a golden opportunity? Who's going to take all the credit for freeing a 1,000-year-old vampire?
Anyone but us?
Yes,
That's a horrible idea.
I would die.
Listen. And I pull out a very large list. And I unscroll it onto the table. And it's like it got like several like arrows that have pointed to new bullets on the list and multiple things that have been crossed out. And I circle the one that says Phase B. We've just freed a 1,000-year-old, was it House Mata, vampire. A sanguine moon has come across Ajaib. Well, all we do is take this news to our good friends back at Darkhold. And, well, maybe rouse up the rebels. Get old House Mata to come over and reclaim its rightful place on the throne of Ajaib. Meanwhile, dutifully paying their respects to, well, the one taking the credit for freeing this 1,000-year-old vampire.
They're in a bubble.
Yes. On clarification, which should be pretty immediate knowledge for our characters. How much Darkhold was in the bubble? Is it the whole thing or just the kind of castle area?
Mostly the castle area. The vampire houses would be free.
You're muted.
Oop.
Simon, please.
Thank you,
He's
muted.
muted.
The castle area, some of the surrounding areas, the only vampire estate that was trapped within the bubble with you was Stark's estate, the Van Heinrich estate.
So House Mata was not in the bubble.
Correct.
Now, I know we all had intended to stay in Ajaib for at least a week or two. Gather some information. This Drian Perez sounds like a good lead. But, considering, I don't think we have another opportunity such as this.
Yes. However, I do not believe House Madden would be happy to know that one of their own is a blood leech. That is a very serious crime.
They'll be horrified. They'll be enraged. And who is to blame? Who will take the fall? The Jadot family itself.
Well, I don't have very many other ideas. I guess I'll be going along with yours, Gloombringer.
Going along with. Okay. You know, I really do love myself and preserving myself, and I tolerate all of you. So, when you speak of us and what we will be doing, I do hope you mean you and how you will be fixing the mistake you made. One of several, might I add. Not the first.
Mistakes, Charmcaster. No. As we've discussed, these are golden opportunities.
Gloombringer, I do not need any of your toxic positivity right now. There is a league of vampire bats swarming the sky above us, a blood moon, and apparently an ancient vampire on the loose. All things I don't want to deal with.
Oh, while we're just putting everything on the table, I might have picked up Mordenkainen.
Fucking hell!
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
I need to go for a drink, and we'll see what happens. Maybe he's cool.
Okay. Well,
We were just supposed to steal a train. We were just supposed to steal a train. That was it.
Yeah. Perhaps giving ourselves 2 weeks of time was the wrong idea.
Perhaps.
We have gained much knowledge about the going on. I think we are much more prepared
Oh, hell.
for the train heist. But
That is correct.
I'm with Charmcaster on this one. What the fuck?
In my defense, I might have pissed him off.
So,
in my defense, how was I supposed to know that it was a blood leaf they were hiding?
Gloom, how do we get the vampires here? They are 3 months away by caravan. Maybe a month as the crow flies.
I can get them here.
Atlantis can get them here.
It would only take 12 seconds plus however long it takes to explain the situation.
It would only take 12 seconds, and then however long it would take him to explain it.
Yes, that is what I said.
Atlantis.
Any other questions, Dream?
Yes, Stark.
Is there a possibility you could take me with you?
Yes, we can all go, but I can create a portal between planets. But the portal is only open for 6 seconds at a time.
Yes, because I do not think they would listen to very many of you.
Yes, I would like to have, well, the hero of Darkhold to be there for the negotiations. Of course.
I may also know a ritual that could perhaps bring the vampire under our control if we are unable to stop it. But it would depend on a lot of things.
The thing is, about Phase B is, well, there's no going back. We're essentially reinstating an ancient house of vampiric power. So, if anybody has any second thoughts about this, now would be the time.
I mean, the plan was scorched earth. I suppose this is along the same vision.
Okay. I don't know if that was the plan.
Who knows, Ambassador? Perhaps with the new residents in seat, they would accept your books at their library.
Okay, you guys can do this. I didn't expect you guys to try and burn down the city tonight. I have to go clean up my own problems.
Maybe I'll help Alex, and
Ambassador.
you can, Ambassador. Sorry.
It's hard because they're all basically the same character.
Yeah.
The artist formerly known as Assistant.
My spell save is just lower on this character. That's it.
I'm gonna lean over and whisper to Charmcaster. Is it really that bad? What did you do?
I don't even want to know. At this point, the less I know, the better, I think.
Well, you know what they say. Don't split the party. Well, see you guys later. Come on, Atlantis. Stark.
Don't split the party, splits the party.
Okay. So whatever plant is nearest, or I have trees here. Atlantis needs a large enough tree near the Mata place that's also not inside the bubble.
Okay, yeah. Tree stride, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, transport plants in this one. No, it's tree stride.
I think it might be transport via plants.
No. Yeah, tree stride is only up to 500 feet. Transport via plant is any distance on the same plane of distance.
Nice. And you find a large tree that you've grown in this druid grove, and you step through it and enter the dark wood forest back in Darkhold, on basically the other side of the planet.
I'll share everybody in because it's only open for a single turn.
And
Yes.
everyone who wants to can be in Darkhold right now.
The four of us and the Dream and Ambassador are gonna go to hell? Question mark?
No, I'm gonna go see what happened. So I said that I'll be having a drink at the bar if Roran wants to apologize. I'm gonna see if he's going to apologize.
And I don't want anything to do with vampires.
So you go into the bar in the city that's currently being raised by thousands of bats and a blood leech.
Yes, also that is the beginning of the crime scene as well, the hotel at which we made the first blood leech.
I was not in the hotel with you, as far as anyone knows. So.
And I'm now changeling into a basic ass variant human who is now wearing silk robes.
You fucking variant humans. It's so good at blending in.
Let's start with our dear friends headed to the bar. You make your way from the Druid Grove back into the city of Ajaib. It's chaos. It's the dead of night, and everyone should be asleep, but there are many people peering out windows, some brave enough to be in the street, gawking upward at the sky. Women, children, men screaming, running for their lives. Some of them even scream, "The vampires. They've come back." Seems like all hope is lost. People are losing their goddamn minds. A veritable plague has been unleashed upon Ajaib in the form of vampire bats.
I wonder, Ambassador, is this librarian of yours more scared of vampires or high wizards?
I don't know. But, I kind of, and we're doing this telepathically, just for context. I kind of took away Mordenkainen's travel pass to Beator. So, I feel like I should show up and give his minion a chance. Don't need to make this more complicated.
Oh, how very, tricksy of you. You would do the Fae proud.
Thank you.
You very quickly make it to the bar at the base of this hotel, but the hotel doors are locked and barred. No one's inside, as far as you can tell. In fact, you look around and most people have started barring up windows and doors.
Well,
It's
we
almost
tried.
as if there is a veritable plague of vampire bats attacking the city.
That's understandable, but still, I had to give it a try. Last episode, I popped up a magnificent tavern. Are we close to that or closer to the Grove?
You're close to that. The library is on the way.
Maybe we just go see him.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll walk by the library.
And it too is boarded up, but you can see that there's someone inside.
Let's see. I'll roll perception, investigation. Let's say perception. See if I recognize the person, or if I can make out any features.
You want to use your passive?
Yeah, sure.
It is.
Passive perception. Yeah.
It is most definitely the clerk from earlier. See him inside very hurriedly, putting books and tomes together in large barrels, closing them up, and tapping them with a wand, sending them off.
Ooh, it's tempting right now to be bad. Nope.
Do it. Should we? Shall we?
Yep. I'm sticking to the plan.
Dream will open the door.
Make a strength check for me.
Slap on the ass. Guidance.
Um, 21.
You very easily push the door open and push aside the piano and bookshelves that were barricaded against it. You can hear inside the man start to squeal, "Oh, please, please!"
I hold the door open and usher Ambassador through.
Oh, it is you. And then he kind of remembers. And then he gets a little mad. He's like, "Oh, it's you."
Ignoring this for just a moment, I'm going to pop up Big B's hand and just like shovel stuff towards the door and make a massive pile of books and pianos and bookcase of everything that looks like it's not of value to make a proper barricade.
Don't you think you
Yes.
have done enough for today?
I have not done anything. It was entirely your doing. I was just going to the bar to catch a drink, see if you had a change of heart.
Yes. I was promised drink. I go scavenging for a bar set or something.
You will find none of that in the library, unfortunately. But as you scavenge, he walks over to Ambassador and pulls a letter out of his coat. This arrived today. It's a letter
Is it
addressed
just
to you
sealed?
from Mordenkainen.
Ooh.
In it, Mordenkainen expresses his deepest apologies and relays to you that the man who so rudely addressed you has been terminated and will be committing the last acts of his work today. As for whatever it is that you may need, the next liaison will be more than ready, apt, and prepared to aid you, and, of course, the Twilight Tower, and making sure the connections between these two veritable resources of information are cohabitating appropriately. Best, Mordenkainen.
Oh, you see? The pen is mightier than the sword.
He may not see you for what you are, but I do. I can smell your schemes. You will soon see that I was right all along.
Bold. Bold. You claim to have more intelligence than a wizard before. Sorry. You claim to be smarter than someone who was an arch wizard before we began recording history. We'll see how it turns out for you.
Intelligence and wisdom are two very different things. Intuition guides me, and there is a pit in my heart.
Board.
You're here. Dream raises a glass, and then kind of.
You will pay for your misdeeds!
Yes, karma, yada yada yada. You're paying for yours now.
Evil will never serve you! And he's just yelling after you.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna clear out the, Actually, no. I'm not gonna be disrespectful to the library. Fuck this guy, but... let's just say for brevity, Ambassador will take Dream, and we'll dimension door to the magnificent bar.
Okay.
Dream, you said you were thirsty. Looks like you have the bar to yourself. Please enjoy a drink.
Won't you join me?
Of course.
Drinking alone isn't all it's cracked up to be.
I'm going to close the door, which will cause it to disappear from the material plane. And we'll have one of the invisible servants serve one of Gloombringer's most preferred wines, his favorites. Gloom highly recommends this beverage. Can't get enough of it. I hope you'll find it enjoyable.
Really, this food in this realm tastes like ash, but it's really more of the habit that keeps me going. I don't seem to mind it that much. It's gotten to the point where the ash is kind of nostalgic.
That is...
Takes another sip.
Ambassador is now intrigued by this person sitting in front of him. And, let's see, what would this be based on? Arcana, history, just to try and understand this potential curse or something which is causing Dream to have all food taste of ash.
Sure. You can roll Arcana if you'd like.
Sure. 24.
Pretty
You
common
have
mythology. If you eat the food of fairy, mortal food does nothing for you anymore.
That is interesting. How long did you spend on in the Feywild?
I sort of ran away from home earlier than I had been planning, and
I thought you were
ended
born
up
there.
there. Yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah, you were born there.
but it's been my refuge for as long as I've known. Longer than these humans live, at least.
Feywild is a fascinating place. I've been meaning to go. Full of tricksters, but also mirth. Very, very interesting place, I understand.
It is equal parts extravagant and deadly. It's very hard to tell which is which. I welcome the challenge, though, and it affords me quite a bit of freedom.
That is a fascinating place you hail from. Are you from a large city, or?
I reside in the dreaming now, which is everywhere and nowhere, more adjacent to the Feywild proper. But there are wild cities, or extravagant cities, small towns, wastelands, forests, glades, deserts, oceans, really anything you could dream of. I understand that hell might have similar variations.
Yes, it is more, though, a realm of hierarchy and order, where the strong rule and the weak wish to become stronger so that they may rule. It's very, very cutthroat. But the strong, the smart, they generally rise to the top if they survive long enough.
I think that is common to most realms, albeit the Fae more whimsical at times.
Yes, we definitely have a bias towards order and rigidity. That is for sure the difference between Beator and the Feywild. There's not a lot of space for the whimsy down there.
Now, tell me, do you know of any worlds outside of this one and these circle of planes in a different sphere?
Well, I heard in passing about Land of Theros. Didn't really hear too much about it. It was all secondhand. There's also another magical, or sorry, it's not a magical realm. It's Eberron, but they do have a great wizard school that I've had the chance to visit, of course. That plane is an entirely different experience, where the entire plane is just one metropolis, as far as the eye can see. And if you travel west far enough, eventually you're traveling east and you're still in the same city.
That sounds dreadful. Without any sort of wilderness, how can people live in such a way? Cooped up in this small little town. But I ask because of Dot's lover. They seem to be elsewhere. We're gonna have to find them if we are to leverage that. Although recent events seem to be a little bit more pressing, as Gloombringer has claimed. 'Tis a land of oceans and islands where the Trident hail from. Tritons? Hail from?
Tritons.
Tritons. A fish people. They were quite curious.
Oh. For a second there, I thought you were talking about the land where the Titans dwell. Tritons, a very interesting place to go visit. Land of water, you say?
I know very little. The figure there was not forthright. Really wants nothing to do with us or Jamil. Thinks it's nobler to spare him something. No sense of passion in that one. Too much duty. Was that a giggle?
No.
Don't be so quick to judge. The sense of duty may be the source of his passion.
May be the case. Well, we will find out.
In the
How-
meantime,
Dream takes rummages in her bag and takes out 3 daffodils and the head of a small rodent. The skull of a small rodent. Puts it on the table. I wager that things go poorly in Darkhold.
oh, I am not betting against you on that one.
Oh, I thought you would take that bet, but
There is no way that I am going to wager that things go well there.
well, we will have to see what the cavalry brings back. I very much maintain that this is not our problem.
As we fade to black and find out
I'm back.
whose problem it is. You've reached Darkhold in mere moments. Less than a breath, and you're breathing the same familiar air. Thick, heavy, with sorrow, and the same lightless sky. It's good to be home again. Stark.
Finally, some fresh air. Now then, shall we head directly to matter?
Yes, we shouldn't squander time. If I'm not mistaken, it should be several days until we arrive, but
No, you're there. It's the
I
bubble.
don't want to.
The bubble.
Oh,
The bubble.
yes. Let's just make sure to steer clear of the circus.
Yes, well, I believe your bubble makes sure of that.
Yes, the bubble.
Yeah.
I feel that we would not get along very well with them anyway.
You know,
Well,
honestly,
one particular king who's rather unruly.
I feel you would start a fight with yourself.
Also, here it is run by a man who's so pompous he doesn't do any work himself.
oh,
Ah, yes. An ingenious manager.
okay, you idiots, you're all pretty. Let's get on with what we're supposed to be doing. And Charmcaster just pushes past all of you. Fucking hell. A train. That's all we went there for. A fucking train.
What's her problem?
She just doesn't have vision. You know, she can't see the bigger prize.
Yes.
Really funny since she has the gift, the literal gift of sight. Her entire power is seeing.
I would say it just loud enough for her to hear.
She just flicks you off over her shoulder.
Well, she is right. Enough games. Let's back to business.
Right, well, I do hope we run into some of my friends in the House Mata. Some of the others can be a little unruly.
Well, I'm counting on you here, Stark. Get us the audience we need.
I will pull as many strings as I have.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Alright. You make your way to the Mata estate. Is there any specific way that you want to approach this? How are y'all doing this? You just gonna walk right up? What's your deal?
Yeah. And walk right up to the front door. Knock on the front door.
Act like we own the place.
No. Easy, Atlantis.
Okay.
I will act like I own the place.
Listen, if you start up like you did when we met Starke for the first time, I swear to God, I'll silence you like I did before.
Yes.
Fine. Very well.
We are in another lord's territory. Their home.
Just
Please.
thought I would try to lighten the mood. Let us proceed.
Yes.
Quickly
And,
approach the Mata
You
estate.
see, Gloombringer is like pulling on his collar as he is a little nervous himself.
And ahead of you, Gloombringer, you can see at the door 2 large creatures dressed in armor, standing perfectly still, guarding the doorway. The villa itself almost has a mile walk up through a large, almost desolate courtyard until you realize it's actually a graveyard. Walking through it and finally getting to the large, sprawling mansion, when you reach about 30 feet, a booming voice echoes from both of these creatures simultaneously. Speak now. Who approaches House Mata?
Yes. My apologies. It is I, Stark of House von Heinrich.
And they immediately go on guard and point their weapons at you.
Please.
Usurper van Heinrich, you know you are not welcome.
Please. I merely wish to speak Joseph.
There's a pause. They go at ease, and the door opens slightly. And a little bumbling man pops out. Stark, what are you doing here? You're gonna get me killed.
Joseph, there's something very serious I need to
No,
tell you
no,
about.
no, no, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Do you know?
Pertains to how it matter.
Do you know how much trouble I'm in because of you and your antics? I'm glad it was worth it, Sir Van Heinrich. But you stepped on me to get to where you are. I won't help you again. I won't.
Joseph, please. This has to do with the House of Mata. It is a very serious topic.
Stark.
I would not be here if it wasn't this serious.
Stark, every house in Darkhold wants your head. I
I
can't be
know.
seen talking to you. They'll know that I helped you. I
Listen, Joseph. I need you to tell the eldest in Mata that an ancient blood leech hailing from Mata has awoken.
What?
Yes.
Stark, you're speaking heresy. A
No.
Mata? A blood leech?
Yeah. It is currently in Ajaib, wreaking havoc.
He seems to think for a moment. Make a check of your choice. You fucked
my
Joseph
choice.
over. At any moment, if anyone finds out he helped you usurp House Van Heinrich, he will be killed. He will immediately be killed. So he doesn't want to help you with anything. As he should.
I will give you a bardic inspiration as I kind of whisper in your ear, Stark, do you really think this is a good idea?
Is that a D10?
Guidance.
Okay, a D10 and a D4, right?
What do you say for this guidance?
For this.
Not you. The person who
Yeah.
casts guidance.
Technically, I only have to touch one.
Oh
I
no,
don't
it
have
is
to
verb.
say anything,
It is
but
verbal and somatic.
Well, as a level 20 Archdruid, I do not have to use verbal, somatic, or material components unless it specifically has a cost on the material. So I
This is
don't have to.
A good old slappity ass.
All right, okay.
But I will pat him on the shoulder and say, I find it best to appeal to their sense of survival.
Okay, so with all of that added, that would be a 33 in persuasion.
Yeah.
You will have to wait here. Just don't talk to anyone, don't touch anything, don't do anything. At all. I'm serious, Stark.
Very well, very well. I will do as you've informed. I will sit here patiently.
Oh, he's gonna get me killed. He closes the door behind him as he scurries off through the halls. You're left here to talk amongst yourselves for some minutes. Well,
You told me you had some connections. You said you could get us in.
Yes, I said I'd get us an audience with the eldest in Mata.
Yes.
And I said I'd pull some strings, yes? That is a string of mine.
you pulled a noose, Stark.
You're reaching here, Stark.
Listen, things happened, okay? People want me dead. It's nothing new. Come on, people want you dead, no?
Yes, but when I'm trying to negotiate, I try and remove as many red flags as possible. I mean, Charmcaster could have done this alone.
When you, Stark, when you said people want me dead, Charmcaster was just in the background nodding silently. Yeah, yeah.
Gloombringer just talking in front of Charmcaster, not awares.
Look, it's this is Stark's realm, more or less, and I suppose, well, if that is the only string he has to pull, we better hope it does not break.
Well,
A hangman's trick if I ever saw one. Let's just hope we don't get caught up in this mess too. Stark, I think I've decided. I don't quite like you.
Yes, well then you share the sentiment with everyone in Darkhold.
And with that, the doors, both of them this time, fly open. And Joseph is standing there, shaking vigorously. The elder of House Mata, Queen Maeve, seeks your audience.
A queen.
Yes.
Please, this way. Make haste. Quickly, quickly.
Very well.
would you look at that?
Now I am quite interested.
Oh, and that just changes your tune so quickly now, doesn't it, Atlantis?
What? No, not like that. Disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go.
Well, Maeve is quite pretty, I must admit.
Shh,
And I'll
she
just
can
look to
hear
Atlantis one more
you.
time. Mind your trident.
Shh, shh, she can hear you. Hush.
I want to find my trident. After he finishes grumbling, he'll just walk on ahead with the others.
You enter a very large throne room, one that seems to probably double as a ballroom. There's an audience of almost 50, maybe 70 vampires, all in rows on either side of the room. And 3 vampires at the edge of the room. One sitting on the throne, presumably Queen Maeve, and 2 on, one on either side of her. Slowly approach, walking upwards. How do you approach?
Stark will whisper to the others. Or, well, I guess he could telepathically say, bow as I do. And, Stark will slowly approach the middle of the room. Right before the throne of Maeve. One hand behind his back, another on his chest. He will bend one knee and bow his head.
Introducing Stark of the Van Heinrich clan and his associates. I present to you my queen. And Joseph bows very deeply, very sharply, and just as quickly as he entered the room, almost as quickly as he leaves. As he does so, he shoots you the faintest glance, Stark, one that you could have missed had you not already been on the edge of your seat and on your very tiptoes, walking on the finest of eggshells now. One wrong move, and the vampires in this room will descend upon all of you. Be wary. Stark, how lovely it is to see you again. Oh, excuse me. You have had a change of name since I have last seen you. It is Van Heinrich now, should I say?
Yes, my queen.
It's quite interesting how that turn of events have unfolded. Is that what you have come today to discuss with me? The upsetting of a balance I have worked very hard to maintain.
Yes.
Did you
No,
come
my
to
queen.
offer penance? Did you come to offer an explanation?
Stark, how rude of you to skip my introduction.
Stark will immediately hold his hand over Gloombringer.
And her head, very slowly and very eerily, swivels in your direction, Gloombringer. Deep red sanguine eyes pierce into yours. She waits.
Atlanta says telepathically, "Fool, you should not have interrupted them."
Well, don't you want to know who's responsible for the giant circus sitting on your front step? The large magical sphere in the midst of dark hole.
The giant unsanctioned nuisance that's been encroaching on our feeding territory. Yes, I would love to know who's at fault for this.
Yes, that's the one. Well, it is I, Gloombringer, Bard Extraordinaire, Universal, and Ethereal Wizard of the Vibrations of Sound.
I'm just
You just made all that up.
gonna put the battle map down now, in case.
You
Just gonna put that there.
seem to be talking down to my new friend, Stark. And, well, that just not considering the news that we've brought you. I surmise you'll be, well, quite proud of his recent actions, and I, of course, have come with a proposal for you, Queen of the Vampires.
Mitchell, you're gonna get
Let
them all
us
fucking
not
killed.
waste time and get right to business.
Yes,
You can see
my queen.
You can see that the two vampires on either side of her kind of reach for their sabers and start to show their fangs. One of them barks out, "How dare you speak to our queen with such blatant disrespect! I will disembowel you."
Apologies, my queen. He does not know any better. He hails from a land far, far away from beings such as us.
Van Heinrich, not only do you displease me by appearing at my door unannounced, but you bring in outsiders, not even those of your own clan, to my home and allow them to speak in such a foreign manner to me. You usurped a position of power, yet you do not know how to wield it. Squander it. Waste it. How many are in your faction? Need not tell me. Of course, I already know. It is far too few to even be a small cabal. Yet you hold land that could be very useful to the rest of the vampires of Darkhold. You are
Yeah.
a nuisance, a vagrant, a low-class mosquito that has somehow found its way into my court. At this point,
Yeah.
she stands up from her throne, and everyone in the room goes on edge and gasps.
Gloombringer sighs.
This low-class mosquito has gathered some very, very high-end information.
Van Heinrich, you have few breaths left to explain why you deserve to continue your unlife on this world. Speak
Very
now.
well. There is a blood leech on the loose, hailing from House Mata.
You get one check. Your choice.
Ooh, 33. Persuasion.
And the room alights with whispers and gasps. And for a moment, you almost see the queen ruffled. She herself slowly takes her throne again. One of her associates leans down and whispers into her ear. How do you know of this?
Because I saw the being myself, my queen.
And you can confirm this is a creature of House Mata.
Yes, it donned Mata's tattoo.
And this elder vampire, did you speak to it?
I did not, for I fear I may have not made it back.
Passive perception, Stark?
Oh, my passive perception's not that great. Let me look.
Or you can...
Mine's 22.
Yours is 22?
Yeah.
Mine is 10.
Hold on, sending it in the message. Very well. Of course, this is harrowing news. But there is no merit to this. Mata has left Ajaib for quite some time. Almost 100 years, if you will. Or excuse me, almost 10 years, if you will. For there to be any creature left behind would be unfathomable. Not only that, a blood leech is even more impossible. House Mata is the most distinguished of vampire clans, and to stoop so low for you to insinuate, because you have brought this information to me, I will be forgiving in my punishment. You will
So
deal
we're
with...
not gonna talk business or what?
Idiots.
Make a wisdom saving throw, Gloombringer.
Can I make a persuasion check, please?
You can make a wisdom saving throw first, and then you can make one with disadvantage, because they don't like you.
I fail. Automatically.
You failed the wisdom save?
Yeah, I have a 0.
What would you roll?
a 3.
Oof, yeah. Hold person, Gloombringer. And she just shoots you an offhand glance and says, "Silence, worm." And then turns
Can
back.
we resolve that persuasion check now?
I think apparently I was never allowed to roll one.
I mean, you did interrupt them twice.
Yeah.
Patience is a virtue.
Persuasion 40 doesn't care.
You only get to roll when the DM asks you to roll.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
This seems quite familiar, Gloombringer. Landon says telepathically.
Oh man, almost not that good, huh?
And the queen continues. You will deal with this blood leech. Dispose of it completely. Make sure no one knows it ever existed. And then you will have proven your worth. And I will allow you to keep your seat as the head of Clan Van Heinrich, even though you are a bloodthirsty, murderous usurper.
Please, I don't deserve such compliments.
But here I am, complimenting you. Stark, do not fail. Whether you die to this blood leech, or you come here and die by my hands, the only answer is success. I do hope you understand this.
Yes, my queen.
Then go. Take your one chance to find my good graces. Come back with good news. Or may I suggest you do not come back at all?
I will be back. And Stark smiles. He will then stand up.
And Joseph is there in an instant to lead you out. Still violently shaking.
As soon as we walk out of the room and the door closes, Stark will let out a hefty breath. Oh,
It was quite amusing seeing you subjugated so much, Stark.
yes, well, that being's far, far beyond my comprehension. I'm sure. I'm surprised Gloombringer himself had not died.
Yes, considering the fact that I was not given a stage to speak upon. Stark, we agreed that you were going to give me an audience. This was a
I
complete...
said I would give us the audience.
I didn't come here to get scolded upon. I came here to speak business with the queen of House Mata.
Gloombringer, there is a time for business and there is a time for action.
Oh shit,
And at the
you
moment...
squandered the entire opportunity. We're not killing a fucking elder vampire, and Stark over here didn't even mention that it was an elder vampire.
You hold your tongue with the way you speak to me, Gloombringer.
Stark, something he just said kind of stuck in the back of your mind. Gloombringer said it offhandedly as you're walking away from the throne room, but he's right. You never told the queen what you encountered was an elder vampire, but somehow she knew. You want to make an investigation check, someone? Anyone? Everyone? Or well, just actually, it would be just Stark. Investigation or your passive, your choice.
passive. Can I not use insight?
You used insight before. Now we're going to use investigation.
Insight? I used insight before.
Or passive.
When did I?
Was it passive perception?
It was perception.
Yeah, it was perception. So now we're going to use investigation. Since we're putting clues
Okay.
together.
Okay, let me look. I'm going to roll for investigation.
Good luck.
I know.
As Atlantis and Gloombringer are bickering in the background.
Is Gloom still tied up while bickering?
No, it was hold person, and they let it go when they dismissed him.
Oh. 14.
She also really wanted the vampire dealt with quickly and completely, to leave nothing behind, as if to leave no trace, evidence, and or trail.
You know, Gloombringer, perhaps you might not have gotten an audience with the Queen. But this information might be useful to other houses.
Yes, but what you cease to realize is that I've already made moves.
Yes, well, you can't make very many moves when you're facing the Queen, Gloombringer. I apologize.
No, you don't. I have hired an assassin to
Yes.
kill the Caliph. It was supposed to be the coup de grace to my business arrangement. It was supposed to push them over the edge. The elder vampire, the Khalifa being dead, the Jaddat family in crumbles. It's a perfect opportunity for them to reclaim their lost kingdom, reclaim their lost power. It'd be too great, too grand of a enticement to go overlooked. Even the Queen.
Oh, shit. I also forgot. Sorry, I forgot to mention this before. Gloombringer, because you were at the museum.
Yes.
She's wearing an exact replica of that amulet you saw in the museum.
And I'll look to Charmcaster, and now that I think about it,
I saw it too.
I had a moment to think about it while I was being held against my will, but yes, I'm sure you did recognize a Charmcaster. One of their lost medallions is held in the Museum of Ajaib.
So I can steal it?
Perhaps you may. Perhaps this might be enough to entice her. We need to get back in her good graces, as that meeting was shit.
It was. Actually, I thought that meeting went well. None of us died, which is a miracle in and of itself.
Stark, you need to think grander. You're part of the circus troupe now. We no longer operate under the thumbs of others. We make our own rules. Choose our own destinies.
Tell that to the Queen. If she's not holding you
Well,
captive.
what the Queen doesn't know doesn't hurt her.
And as you say that, we fade to black as you're finally leaving the estate. In the dark shadowy corners of the foyer that you exit out of as you say this, a pair of red glowing eyes glow from behind shadow. And what looks like a small bat flies off in another direction as we fade to black here. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna reconvene, I assume, back in Ajaib? Question mark?
Yeah, unless like Stark's got like a shotgun at his house he's got to grab before we head back.
I can't go to my house. It's in a bubble.
Oh, that's right. You're bubbed out.
Yep.
That's just,
Even if I wanted to grab anything from there, I can't.
yeah. See, I guess we'll just head back.
Okay.
I don't want to dally.
Yeah, let's take a short break here, y'all. To everyone watching the stream, thank you. Glad to have you. Glad to be here with you. Hi, Kat. Hi, Wacko. We're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll hop right back into it. Okie dokie. Welcome back. As we continue forward in our story, I actually want to pause. I know we said we were going to go straight back to Ajaib, but it seems like you guys want to talk to some more people here in Darkhold before you head back. Is that correct?
I believe so.
I will let you take the floor as you leave the Mata estate, walking out past the graveyard. You have some time to talk amongst yourselves, the four of you. Well, that felt like it really didn't work in our favor, did it? Charmcaster's rubbing her forehead and she's very exasperated. This just keeps getting more and more complicated.
Indeed. The Queen seems to want to hide the fact that a blood leech from House Mata is on the loose.
What a waste. We need to find somebody who wants to use this as an opportunity to get ahead.
True. Well, I believe we have two choices. Either House Ved or House... What was it? Oh, Curso. House Curso.
Well, I am new here, so what's the angle?
Well, for House Curso, it may well just be to gather more information. Seeing as they did claim to hold many of House Mata's secrets, perhaps this blood leech is one of the secrets that they may or may not know. Now, for House Ved, this may be a good opportunity for them to claim a kingdom of their own from Ajaib.
I think you mean pomade.
No, it's Ved.
The Marauders?
We have the fucking murder hobos.
Shit, okay.
That or pomade.
Well, they seem to be rather unruly. Perhaps we see how our luck pans out with House Curso first. Having some more information about what we're dealing with couldn't hurt. And I have a hunch I want to garner more information on.
Very well. Okay. Well, I guess I need to pull a few more strings. I guess we'll head over to House Curso next.
Okay. Lovely. And I'm just gonna throw this on here. What the heck? It's broken.
Oh no.
But
okay, there we go. And then, sorry, little technical difficulties because my computer is really struggling. Okay. You make your way through the rest of the grave and quite some whiles to the other side of Darkhold, finally reaching a large set of several libraries and smaller huts and homes. This is where Curso resides, as far from Mata as they could be, still while being under the ever-night sky of Darkhold.
Well, go on. I'm following your lead here, Stark. And don't forget to introduce me.
I will try my best. Okay, I guess we'll walk up to the front door.
Yep. Two large double doors of this library. You walk in and find that there are several vampires in robes, either reading, attending to books, milling about, minding their own business. All of them seem to be deep in thought and working on something quite important. None of them acknowledge you.
Alright. Make sure to keep your voices down. This is a library, after all. He says that telepathically. And Doug will now search for Amelia.
And you'll find her in the clerk's office, which is up top of the main library, second floor. One of the offices there, the largest one. You make your way there and find her in her study.
Doug will knock on her door.
Enter. Enter. Quickly.
Doug opens the door and ushers everyone in.
Oh, Van Heinrich.
Amelia.
What do you need? I told you I would let you know if I found out any more about blood magics. We haven't yet. I assume that's why you're here?
Well, not exactly, though I do appreciate your efforts very much, Amelia. Truly.
Yes, well.
And I await your information patiently. However, the reason I am here is because I've happened upon some very interesting information pertaining to House Mata. Oh, and before I forget, please, these are my compatriots, Gloombringer, Atlantis, and Charmcaster.
Oh, well, how kind of you, Stark. Pleasure to meet you, Amelia.
Yes. It is. Now, what do you mean? Information about House Mata. As if there is something we do not already have recorded.
Well, it would be a matter of verification. As you see, we believe we might have, well, found an ancient lineage, an old line, and we want to confirm.
Indeed. Perhaps you can enlighten us, Amelia. For you see, we've happened upon, or across, an elder vampire in Ajaib.
Najaib. That place
Yes.
was abandoned almost a decade ago. A little more now.
Indeed. But that is not the most interesting. What is fascinating about this vampire
is that it is a blood leech.
Her eyes widen. She raises a hand. The door closes. And with a whip of her wrist and a twirl, runes engage on the door. A private sanctum envelops the room. A blood leech. An elder blood leech. So it's true. He was never vanquished. She can be seen immediately flitting like shadows across the room, gathering several books, all of which she places on her desk and opens to a specific page. She begins to reference each section. House Mata is indeed the oldest living vampire clan. But they did have predecessors. They hailed from a very remote part of the Underdark. They're said to be nomads. Said to be some of the first vampires of our kind. They were not blood leeches, but something far more powerful. They were blood kin, subservient to a god that we think now is dead, along with the rest of their tribe, that allowed them great and powerful dark blood magics. Until recently, we thought this was true, that they were extinct and long gone. But truth be told, Starke, you are the reason we no longer believe this. Your magic, the things you can do, it is hand in hand, an exact replica of what the ancestors were taught. They called themselves the Alaktar, and when they came to the surface world, briefly, millennia ago, some of their factions split off and became the vampires we know today. Some of them practiced the magical craftsmanship that we, Curso, had been taught. Others were brute strength warriors. Others practiced hermetic magics and arcanists. And finally, there were those that turned on other vampires. They could be from any faction, but it happened many times over, until it was widely enough known and widely enough fought against, and the term blood leech was coined. Almost all of them were eradicated, but the strongest of them all was once the prince heir to the Mata throne. No one is quite sure how it happened, but the young child was sequestered away all its unlife, born a blood leech. Eventually, the creature escaped, devoured almost half the family, and was said to have been vanquished by them themselves. I was not around for this time, so my recountings are clearly only from this book. But the last tale told is one I found in a personal journal to one of the scribes of that time. As you know, as House Mata grew in power, they took in houses that were small and weak. We, before we had a name, were simply just crafters, magical artificers, scribes, all subjected to House Mata's servitude. It was in this servitude that one of the greatest artificers crafted a prison for this creature. One that it would not be able to free itself from. In his accounts, he reads that the prison was made just in case, for a worst-case scenario. Never that it would be intentionally used for a person or instance. It seems as though that was a lie.
Well, indeed. Fascinating.
So this is the prince.
I knew that if the vampire is old enough, she may be able to identify, but I didn't think it would be the literal heir to the throne.
Do
No
not...
wonder they wanted nothing to do with us.
Do not mistake this. She is far younger. And this dread creature, closer to demon than vampire now, it will likely have no regard for a throne. A creature this starved of blood, this old, will only want to feast until there's nothing left. House Mata has once again put us all in danger.
One last question, Amelia. When we met with the Queen, she wore a medallion around her neck. A large necklace. What is its meaning?
And she, quickly like a shadow, once again flits to a bookcase and flits back with a book open in her hand. Did it look like this? She points to a drawing of it.
I'll nod.
These were created when House Mata first took power in Ajaib. They were restless during these hot and long days where they shied away from the sun. So, through many trials, many errors, the soon-to-be clan of Curso crafted these amulets of proof against sunlight. They also have an unintended effect on humanoid creatures. They prevent them from being charmed by vampires or turned into one themselves. But while a vampire wears this amulet, they are not affected by the sunlight and its adverse effects on their flesh. It was affectionately called the Daywalker's Amulet.
And how many of these Daywalker amulets were made?
Hundreds, maybe even thousands. But they were lost when the adventurers that overtook Ajaib slew most of the vampire nobles. It seems that they had found this out too, and had their own ingenious plan to deal with it all.
Thank you.
Yes, this information is very useful. We appreciate it, Amelia.
It does not come without a price.
Would you like to know a secret of mine, then? That's the price.
I fear I already know your secrets, Stark. You are not as mysterious as you think. Mind you, I have been uncovering your secrets for you for the better part of this year that I've known you. No, what I ask of you is far more dangerous. I want you to capture the prince and bring him back here to Darkhold.
You want us to what?
And that is where we'll fade to black.
I fucking love Amelia.
That's a good episode title. You want us to what?
What?
Guys, I fucking adore you. That was a great session. Out of the fucking ballpark. There is no. It's out of the football field at this point, right? Are football fields bigger than ballparks?
Yeah.
Maybe.
The stadium would be.
Anyway, it's out of here. It's a home long run. Is that not right?
Nope.
Oh.
It's okay. Moving on.
Yeah, anyway.
Fall down.
Sports references.
Sports.
Guys, thank you so much. That was really fun. I didn't expect to go back to Darkhold so soon. I didn't expect such messiness. So messy.
I mean, the fucking blood leech. Or the prince.
Yeah, I didn't expect a lot of this. This is all like thrown on our lap here.
Yeah, well, I was
Took half a second to regret our decision.
I was hoping he wouldn't unstake him yet. I was hoping this would come later.
I mean, we literally left off. He was pulling the stake. So
Yeah, but I was like, oh, someone's gonna come in and like be like, hey, what are you doing? Like, you know, I gave you a whole week to do that, but you were like, nah, it's totally fine. Let's do the ominous, terrible thing.
Nobody said no. Okay, nobody told me no, so I was like, okay.
You know, man, this is encouraging him. You expect me to tell him to think about it?
To be fair, also didn't telepathically reach out and say, hey, I'm pulling a stake out of a vampire.
I did. I told you. I contacted you specifically.
Did that happen?
Yes. Right before, like, when we found the vampire, I was like, we seem to have found an elder vampire who seems to be staked.
True, we did contact you. And you were just like, well, so don't make it, you're just like, well, be careful.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Damn it. You must have caught me at the end of the session. I must have been really, really just, taking it easy.
Probably.
On the bright side, Starke Amelia says it's all House Matta's fault, so no responsibility for us.
Yeah, right. It's their issue.
We still gotta deal with it, but it's not our fault.
I'm also like I'm connecting all the pieces of the story and like how we've like traveled all over and we have all these dots to this weave story out of San's script here. It's very cool.
Aw, thank you. I
Now,
appreciate that.
Get tangled in your web.
You always have been, honey.
We're never escaping.
Yeah, I like pulling the pieces together. Wait until you see... Oh, wait until you... Never mind.
Spoilers.
Never mind. Because I always say too much. But anyway. Yeah, no, seriously. Thank you, guys. I had a great time. It was an awesome session. Let's start doing our normal closing time things. Starting with nominations. Atlantis, do you want to start us off? You know what's crazy? We do episode titles, we do inspiration, and we do recaps every single week, but you guys are always caught off guard. It's wild.
I haven't decided yet.
Again, son, you said it yourself. We share like a third of a chromosome between all of us.
It is true, I did say
I'll
that.
Give it to. I'll give it to Stark. Because this is his story.
It's all of your story. It's a collaborative storytelling
This
effort.
particularly.
No, I'm the main character.
I admired Stark's roleplay today. I thought he did a really good job. He gets an honorable mention from me, but not my
That
vote.
too.
Ooh, honorable mention, but not your vote. So, who is your vote, Stark?
My vote? Who do I vote for? Tough with Atlantis.
Aw,
The bros.
romance.
And you
This
mentioned
is
an
only-
honorable mention. So, who is your vote, Gloombringer?
Honorable mention to Stark because I really thought your roleplay was gripping and had ups and downs to it. It was really enjoyable all session. And my vote is for Ben on Dream for fucking having a super smart play with his Dream tactics and pulling out the fucking literal love interest of our target.
And
With a dream
didn't
inside a dream.
make a mess.
And didn't make a mess, and we all could have just hung out and did our thing and ate kebabs, but vampires.
That's not fun at all.
Vampires
Dungeons
don't
and
eat
Dragons,
kebabs.
you know that's not gonna happen.
That's the new name of the episode.
Vampires don't do kebabs.
They don't eat kebabs.
Dream.
My vote's for the artist formerly known as Assistant for being railroad buddies with me.
We're just like sitting at the train station, like any minute now.
Where are they?
Your vote, Ambassador?
I'm gonna go with Gloom. One of the things that I struggle with roleplay is, trying to do the best thing to win the situation. But Mitch, he was just like, no, I'm gonna go talk to this vampire queen. And I respect that he was playing his character really well.
Yeah. That's split all between them.
I was just gonna say it's a tie.
Small voted for ambassador, so it goes to him.
Small with the vote. Small.
She did vote.
Small, you're so great.
Good stuff.
What was it for?
Ambassador, just because.
Just because Ambassador.
All right, Ambassador, take your well-deserved point of inspiration.
Right.
My honorable mention is also Gloombringer, because I sent him a little thing that he noticed with passive perception, and he slipped it into his roleplay so seamlessly. Like, that was, like, I think that was, like, if you, like, a little micro scene. Just, like, he's completely frustrated, he's pissed off, and he's like, and she totally mentioned an elder vampire, he didn't even say anything about that, but he, like, says it in passing, and he's still, like, going off. And I'm just like, motherfucker, that was so smooth. So, yes, I wanted to give you props for that.
Oh yes.
Thanks. There was a sandwich.
Ambassador because ambassador.
Yep. That's all you need, just Ambassador.
Little word sandwich.
Little word sandwich.
I'm excited for the cameo, for the Slayer cameo. I can't wait to roleplay a new character.
Yes. Get Slayer in here, finally get to the fucking train. When we get to the train, then we can have our dragony friend join us. It's all gonna be great, but we just gotta get there. We gotta get there.
Amelia scares me, man. She knows more than I thought.
Yeah, dude, and like now, like, so here's the question. You know, we have one house that wants us to kill it. We have one house that wants us to capture it. And now we have all their ulterior motives behind these reasons. Amelia's probably the scariest of all the reasons.
Oh,
Like,
For science?
yeah. Dude.
yes. What does she want to do with this vampire?
She and Harumi would get along very well.
Very well.
Oh, yeah.
Very well. It's just gonna devolve into which one of them ends up the experiment for the other first.
True.
Which house is worse than the other?
Matter of perspective.
Do you want the slaves or the masters?
Yep.
Sometimes the slaves can be the cruelest.
Indeed.
Well,
Well,
if we do
they're-
capture
They're all
them,
vampires, so there aren't any saints here.
You're not
True.
wrong.
if we can hide it from House Nada, we can always just tell them that we killed the prince if we can capture him.
Okay, before we get off on too far of a tangent, so we can end the stream and my computer can stop dying. You can, of course, we can hang around after, but let's just name tonight's episode.
I'm still down for you. Want me to what?
Want me to what?
And our second vote, vampires don't eat kebabs.
Stark, why?
Why, Stark? Why? That's also a good one.
Because I am humble assholes, that's why.
Like, the first one gives us a great introduction to the next episode, but the second one is a better description of what the episode is and what's been happening this entire time. Which is the vampires don't eat kebabs, they actually eat people.
But blood leeches
Vampires
don't
aren't
eat people, they eat vampires.
Oh.
I'd suggest Stark made a mess, but we would have to name every episode that.
We'd have to name every episode Stark made a mess.
So the campaign is gonna no longer be Diabolic Designs. It's Stark made a mess.
Dark Mata mess.
Stark made a mess.
Ooh,
That's a good one.
Dark Mata mess.
Okay.
I like the wordplay.
I also like the wordplay. I'm a fan of that.
Here all week.
Stark.
Mata mess.
Okay. Alright. That is our episode title for next week. Guys, I really mean it. Dope session. Dope sessions every week. Always excited to be here with y'all. But since we're going to call it tonight, we're going to say bye to the stream. And hopefully,
Bye, stream.
those of y'all who are here with us this time will come and hang out with us next week as well. Check out the YouTube because I do post the videos of our streams afterwards up there. They'll post 1 week later at 7 p.m. So,
Whoa.
oh yeah. I got the schedule set up and everything. We're like a real streamer now. But with that being said, thanks for being here with you guys. And I will catch you next week in the real world. Bye.
So,